Alright guys, it's your boy New Teddiera, and I'm doing this on behalf of Mr. Christopher. This is a Madolche deck profile. I'll be going through little moves and understanding, help people understand how this deck works and what makes this deck so competitive. Um, I'm trying to be a little more professional because of certain team members. But we're gonna do this very professionally. Even though I can't speak correctly because I'm Hispanic, so my English is kind of la 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 la. But anyway, let's just get right into it.
I love it already.
3 Madolche Madeline. Of course, this card searches any Madolche monster.
Sorry.
Any Madolche monster. If you see this card, 9 times out of 10 you do win. Because it searches out any combo pieces that is needed or that will set you up for next turn. Okay, so 3 Madolche Magicals. Then Triple Hoot Cake, also the second most important card in the deck. Without this card, it should have been, this deck would not have been as good as it is right now at this moment. If people do not know what Hoot Cake does, when it's summoned, you can use this effect to remove a monster card from the graveyard to special summon any Madolche monster from the deck. In this case, in a lot of cases, it will be Messengerado. Messengerado also is one of the main focal points of the deck. Like I said, as you can see, there's a lot of main focal points of the deck, which each part is needed to win the duel. So let me get the Hoot Cake out of here. Okay. Now, Messengerado will give you any spell or trap that has Madolche in its name.
As long as you control a face-up beast-type monster.
And with
Madolche monster.
Yeah, with you using Hoot Cake's effect to bring him out, that's what it'll do. It'll get you a Madolche spell or trap. So we're gonna put. Can you see it there?
Just move it over.
Right here?
Right there. That's
Okay,
good.
I'm gonna leave this here. We can leave one there. We don't need 3.
Yeah.
We're just gonna leave this here because we're gonna go back to it with the other combos that it has. Now, if you draw this card, it's not that good, but what will make it better is if you have the cat in hand. Automatically, it's a beast, so it will get its effect when it's summoned. So, a lot of times we did have it at 3. We seen that it was a little cloggy, and we did preach a lot that we wanted it at 3.
Yeah.
But 2 is a perfect number. Not at 1, 2, because 2 is just a perfect number for Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. If it could be at 3, sometimes, iffy. But with you having the field spell, which I will explain it later, but it recycles everything back into the deck. Okay? Now, 1 Croissant, what he does, a lot of people don't really like him. But what makes him so good, is that once you have Ticket or the field spell, you pick it back up to your hand to use this effect, make him a 4, and it gains 300 attack and defense, right?
No, I think it's just attack.
Yeah, just attack. So then you activate the field spell again, and you could get all your Madolches back from the grave to the deck or to the hand, right?
It goes to the deck, and then you get Ticket to search out another card.
And then, yeah, of course, you heard it. So he's actually crucial when you don't have that big push to make Queen Tiramisu. But, yeah, he's a level manipulator. And if I'm not mistaken, it stacks.
It does.
It stacks, and it could just go to 5 to match up with Puddingcess if we ran it in this deck. So, yeah, he's really good. And at 1 is sufficient. You don't need 3,
Yeah.
2, 1
It's just
is
like
fine.
Messengerado, same thing.
Yeah, Messengelados. So now we're running, in this build, we're running the TG variant. Right now, this deck is mostly to just OTK and just out-sustain your opponent. This deck has major sustain. So, when you summon this, you could easily make Beast or Barkion.
No, you can't make either of them.
Why not?
He's a dark.
Well, I know not him.
Oh yeah, but yeah.
Just with the striker is usually what you usually make.
That's
Beast or Barkion.
That's one of the main reasons I love the deck.
Yeah, and everybody knows what Beast and Barkion does. Stops traps, stops spells. So the TG Werewolf, he's only really in here just because he's a 3 and he special summons itself when a card is special summoned.
A level 4 lower. That's
a level 4
your
lower.
Opponent or you.
Oh, really? So both opponents if they do that. So one, it's good for defending, and is also good to make Invoker, things like that, to start your combos off. Okay. So, so now the hand traps. We do have one more, but we're gonna save that for last. We have the 2 Maxis and 2 Veiler. Mainly, this deck is just for, these are in here just to feed Hoot Cake, to make Hoot Cake more live, to make it broken, because that's what the card is the card is broken. This the effect of Hoot Cake is needed. When they made that card, they made this deck very good. So 2 and 2, not 3 and 3. It got kind of cloggy. The only response that I get about the Maxi is that when your opponent doesn't care and keeps taking the Maxi challenge, you start running into the pieces that you want to keep in your deck, which is the Messenger Lotto and the Croissant. Okay, and the last hand trap is Swift Scarecrow. Swift Scarecrow. A lot of people are not. This, how can I say this? This card, a lot of people don't like it, but this stops so many OTKs that people do not understand. Like, why is this guy playing this card? He took out 1 Maxi for this, and he had a card D in here, and he took it out for this. Again, I'm doing this video for Chris, so I don't know completely all his insight, but
my main thing is because if I have all Xyz on the field and they torrential, I'm like, well, I'm pretty much done if they OTK me, and if that's in hand, they're like, really?
Yeah, and it stopped my pushes. I was running
It stopped a lot of pushes because Mermills, Heretics, Dragons, they don't care.
Yeah, and they'll take the Maxi challenge, a lot of people.
And their big push, if you Maxi, the Dragon player, they're like, oh, I got game. And I'm like, no, this. And then they're just like, sad face.
Right. Alright, now we're going to move into the spells. We have the double Madolches Chateau. Yes, and exactly, if you didn't hear my wife, she just said it's broken. It is. There is no better field spell card other than Necro Valley that is as good as this. This card recycles your deck, period. It refills it. If you draw this late game, activate it, all your cards are live. Except the Veilers that you probably banished with Hoot Cake. But in the extra deck, you will see all the stuff that we're doing. And that we removed just to do certain things. Now, the other broken card of the deck is Madolche Ticket. This card here just fills your hand. And if you torrential this deck, you better have something else to destroy their hand. If not, this card, if you leave this on the field, you're losing. If this card stays on the field more than 2 turns, you lost.
And just if you're wondering, I do run Tragodia, but he's in my side deck.
Yeah, he's in the side. I'll glimpse through the side real quick. We're not trying to show all the secrets because he's running this for regionals. So if you guys really want to see it, we could do a separate video understanding what's in the side. But we're going to keep moving on. The staples, we only run 2. Well, he only runs 2 because of, again, cloggy hands, things like that. And he really don't care what you have. He could just go off, return anything that's problematic on the field. Okay, Dark Hole, Book of Moon. This card, I love it personally. I think it's one of the best cards in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I do understand that it's why it's at 1. It stops XC plays, it stops Synchro plays, and it's very versatile. Now, one card that a lot of people don't really understand why it's in here. This is in here just to give you a better hand. You want to get the Magdalene. You want to get the Hoot Cake. You don't want to get the Messenger Lotto, but it gives you an option to pick what you need. So 2 is fine. He didn't want 3. 2 is relatively enough.
It's like you're speaking my mind. When I can't think of why the hell I put that in there, it's just like, oh, I know.
Now, this is what makes the deck even more
oh my god,
crazy.
It's balanced.
It's not balanced. This card is dirty. And they want Return of the Different Dimension ban. Yes, it's broken, but this card is at 3. But we have 2 Madolche Party. So, in theory, whatever card he has in hand, mind you, don't forget, Ticket gives you stuff in hand. Gives you monsters in hand. Hoot Cake, Messenger Lotto, the cat, the dog, all the candy. You activate this, all of them come to the field. As many cards as you can possibly have on the field, which is 5. If you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh, you should know that.
Thank God Warning's at 1.
Right. Since Warning's at 1, this deck could just go off. This card, I lost so many times to it. And many people could lose to it because even if somebody royal tributes you, you can chain this and they're royal tributing no cards because you activated this in response to royal tribute. So royal tribute will fizzle out because there's nothing to get rid of. So this card is just too good, and the reason it's not at 3 because a Chateau is a card and Tiramisu is a card that actually recycles everything back into the deck to make it reusable. He could use this card up to at least 6 or 7 times a duel. And that's ridiculous. Now, 2 Dark Bribes. This is his personal tech. He loves this card.
Why I have MST
Why
at 2.
why he has MST at 2, because the only real things that hurt his deck, is Torrential, is Mirror Force, of course. But Torrential's at 1, Bottomless is at 1, Compulse is at 1. Those were the only cards that really gave this deck a problem. And Dark Hole, of course. Skill Drain also, when they activate, they still pay the cost. Yeah, you're giving them a card, but usually, once you have Tiramisu on the field, you won. Okay, now, Mirror Force, self-explanatory, just get rid of all your monsters. And the one-ofs. Bottomless, Torrential, and Compulse. These are the cards that we Dark Bribe and want to get rid of. And they're at 1, so once it's gone, it's gone. So if I'm not mistaken, the deck's at 40 cards.
Okay? It might be 41, I believe.
Because they're Swift, right?
Yeah.
So 40.
We're still tweaking it until...
Yeah, we're still tweaking. We still have about a week for the ban list, but the ban list.
Oh
the
my
regionals.
God. Already?
It's gonna be like in December.
They're gonna ban Palooza.
Right. Alright, so we're gonna get right into the... How much time we're at?
We're at 12 minutes. We're about to be 13.
That's fine. Y'all can watch it. Y'all stay this long.
We love you.
So, now we're gonna get into the extra deck. Remember, we're trying to get this a little more professional, still fun, to help you guys understand the deck. And we're gonna be doing this for every deck profile we have. Most likely, I'll be doing it, or Chris, or Herman, or Crystal, or Dave. So, in other words, everybody in the team, other than Marcus and Russell. If you guys don't know them, we'll be doing the videos on them at regionals. So, remember, if you guys see us at regionals, come talk to us. We're just regular Yu-Gi-Oh players, and we're just regular people. Really good. We just play with cardboard that's shiny.
And expensive.
Alright, so we're going to get right into it. Double Invoker. A lot of people run 1, but if this card so happens to get Bottomless, since it's at 1, you have a second one late game and it's devastating. Because already your deck is being recycled. So 2 is mandatory. Especially since you have some kind of room. Mm-hmm. You know, you have room for it. So 2 is fine. Levier for that 1 Bottomless, and Hoot Cakes. Stuff that you banish with Hoot Cake, this could come back with.
That's when you have to be very smart. Yeah,
this is just to give your push better. Like if you have to remove the Messenger Lotto, you could detach, get the Messenger Lotto back, and make a Tiramisu when you need it. And get a search. And the search, yeah, because Ticket's on the field. Zen Mains and Levier. Leviathan. I just said Levier.
Leviathan's to feed the graveyard.
Yeah, to feed the graveyard, and also is to make it strong. 25 is pretty big right now, but usually he's ending the duel once he makes this card. So Blade Armor Ninja 4, there is an OTK, but Tiramisu is a card, so why would you make this if you can make Tiramisu and win anyway?
There are occasions where you can make both.
Yeah, really. Fairy King Alredich, he doesn't really make this much, but when he does,
he puts in the work.
He wins. Like, if you haven't noticed, almost everything in the deck, other than the extra deck, is all Earth. So nothing gets hurt by this card that's in his deck. Okay. Now,
We
Maestro.
We love it.
I love this card. We need it OT. If anybody has that,
we'll give you our soul.
Sure. Dweller and Cowboy. These are self-explanatory. Let's say this Mermails and let's beat the game at the end. And the broken card of the deck. The only reason we don't have 3 because we don't have another one, but 2 is very sufficient. Again, the reason being because of Chateau. It recycles Madolche cards. Period. Now the last 3 cards in the extra: Cataster, Beast, Barkion. Self-explanatory. I'm beating over everything you have. I'm taking away your spells and I'm taking away your traps. And that's self-explanatory what the deck does. Now, if anybody has any questions for me or Chris about how the deck works, what is the main combos, we do have a combo video up. We'll probably be doing some more of that. But again, the deck is very good. If you want a budget deck, this is kind of cheap to make. The only thing that's kind of expensive in the deck now is the Tiramisu's. All these are cheaper now. This might be a little bit. Beast and Barkion. The only thing that's expensive really is the extra deck. But the way Yu-Gi-Oh! Is now, most of these stuff are reprinted. Invoker is expensive.
That's it.
And that's about it. Imagining is a little pricey.
She's up and down. You know that for.
Yeah. She's like a doorknob. Everybody gets a turn. But but anyway, you know, the deck is very inexpensive. If you play the game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, you know how the prices go up and down. So if I had a chance to pick up everything, I would do it. It's a very good deck. And I won't be surprised that Chris top 16.
Come on, now they're going to be
regionals.
expecting me to do it.
So if you see Chris at regionals, give him a hug. Say that I'm grateful that you're running Candy and let this stuff get hit on the ban list.
Oh my god.
Because it's not fair.
This is what this video is for.
This card is not fair. I just want to put a little funny in here because they wanted me to do a real a-hole video, but I'm not that type of guy. But still, ban this card, Konami, please.
Please. Give us Trishula back. Take that.
Yes, take it. I don't want it. But there you have it, guys. 10 likes on this video. And leave in the comment section if you would like something like this later on. More dual videos, more deck profiles like this to make it more fun and help explain certain decks. So, this is episode 1 of Deck Doctor. We didn't fix anything, but let's call it Deck Analyst.
Yeah, something like that.
Episode 1, Madolches. So, there you have it, guys. Peace.